Okay, welcome back to Heroes Without Limits. We are finally back after a couple of weeks of flare-ups and unfortunate illnesses, which will happen from time to time. We do prioritize players' and DM's health over the game, of course. Um, well, last time the party took on Clark, a fearsome bugbear who was controlling Cragmore hideout, a goblin run cave. And one goblin did escape with, I can't remember, I think I said that she was packing like knives and forks and just random junk in a bag. Um, and uh, they party killed Clark for this goblin, who essentially just really hated Clark and said he was a bad person. And the party took her at her word in exchange for Sildar Hallwinter's freedom. Sildar Hallwinter is the guard who was supposed to be looking after Gundren Rockseeker, who for now appears to have been kidnapped by goblins. Um, Once he was rescued, the party then took him to Phandelver, and we left off just as you guys were coming over the hill and seeing Phandelver for the first time. Um, so there stretches out, fields. Some are worked as farmland, some aren't. Some are just, wildflowers overgrown. But between long blades of grass and wild shrubbery, you can see like old sets of rusted armor and like a decayed trebuchet at one point, rusted swords and weapons sort of driven in the ground and left there. Some of them are shattered, some of them are basically eaten by rust. And from the history of this place that Phandalin was once besieged by a group of mages, human mages, who had allied themselves with orcs in this area in order to try and capture this legendary Forge of Spells and use the magic for themselves. Um, and you know that they didn't exactly succeed because the mine was it basically fell into destruction and nobody could find it after that. And as you approach Phandalin, you can see definitely that this town is dwarvish in origin, but you see that it's actually been built on top of an old town that came before it. So you see ruins of a dwarven nature in which there are, beautiful stones which are cut with perfect geometric patterns and dwarvish script and runes on the top. And there is also, however, signs of people who are now living here in this frontier town, in which there are wooden houses. A few of them are brick, showing that people are trying to stay here permanently now. But they mostly sit along the roads that go through Phandalin. And you also see with that that there is on these dwarven ruins some is vandalism, some is posters like wanted posters, things like that. But some of the more interesting vandalism depicts a red skull with a spear driven through that comes from underneath and out through the top. And you also notice that along some of these walls are big, almost like lightning bolt cracks of vibrant colors. They glow strangely, and you also like with the with your knowledge of Phandalin having been besieged by mages at one point, that this is clearly the leftover remnants of a magical battle. Even though it was 500 years ago, the magic still sort of ebbs and burns in the walls. Um, and you can see that there are loads of people actually about. Some are adults tending to business, others are youths who are sort of just hanging around or are working as apprentices. And as you come in, there is an inn on the left-hand side of you, and an arching small stone shrine that's sort of been made out of stacked up stones on the right-hand side. And running next to that is the town green, where you see lots of children sort of playing, along with a few parents who are keeping an eye on them. And uh, this is essentially Phandalin. It's a noisy place. Not too noisy, not as noisy as the city. Um, but yeah, you can hear children laughing and shouting, and you can hear adults calling to each other from across roads and in the back gardens, things like that. Um, and yeah, you guys also know that there is a place here in Phandalin called Barthen's Provisions, sorry, where you will be receiving your money for bringing the gear that Gundren and Rockseeker requested you bring. So what would you guys like to do? Sildar Hallwinter is in the back of your cart. He's sort of sat there.
Let's get our money.
I want money.
Okay. Second, let me check where that is. Yeah. And as you pull up to the Stonehill Inn, there's well, you see that it's called the Stonehill Inn on the hanging sign. You see that there is also a small area of stables, where you can pull up the oxen, and right next to it is a sort of squat house with a sign out front that reads Barthen's Provisions. Sorry. And you see that there are people going inside and coming out with sort of everyday sort of things, really. Anything from bedrolls to rations, things like that. Um, so yeah, you go inside, and as you push the door open, you've got the little tinkling bell that signifies a customer entering, and behind a shop front counter is a tiefling with, instead of the sort of ram's horns or the sort of big pointed horns that you're used to, they actually sort of jagged backwards, almost kind of like antlers, but if they were made out of a stone instead of, yeah, like velvet or anything. They're really rigid. And he appears to be stacking up boxes behind this counter. And when he hears you, the bell go as you enter, he turns around, and you see his tail sort of flick in acknowledgement of seeing you. And he smiles and says, "Welcome to Barton's Provisions. How may I help you?"
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
We were told to bring, and we got. And Holly was
brought
gonna
it here.
gesture, like outside with stuff. Like that's
Gundren sent us, right? Gundren Rockseeker gave us stuff to give to you for money.
Ah, right. Your Gundren slot.
you can't see.
I
Yes.
take it the supplies are outside.
Yes.
Okay, and he sort of, sidles past you like, "Excuse me," and steps out the front door and into the sort of area, with the small area between the two buildings, the inn and this place, where you set the oxen and the cart aside. And he begins to look through the provisions you've brought, and you notice he pulls a small little notepad out of his pocket and begins ticking things off. And after he's done, he puts his notepad back, and he puts his hands on his hips and smiles and says, "Aye, all appears to be in order. I believe that's 10 gold pieces each for you."
Wow, that's so much money.
So much
Well, you could
money.
buy like a million
Level
people.
1. And
Wow.
he pulls out a pouch and begins divvying up the money amongst you all. And it's at this point he asks Sildar, where is Gundren? I hadn't seen him for about 10 days. And Sildar explains the whole situation. Gundren's been kidnapped. And Barton says, sort of looks quite upset, and he goes, I'm worried about his brothers too. Nundro and Tharden. I haven't seen them either. Perhaps they've befell the same fate. And he turns to you all, you four, and says, if you're planning on staying a while in Phandalin, and he looks over your weapons and says, as adventurers, there are a few jobs around town that you could help with. And then he sort of shrugs and says, this place started off okay, but now it's, kind of become a bit lawless. A bit of a, how you say, a shithole.
What happened to make things change?
A group moved in not that long ago, called themselves the Red Brands, run by a man called Glassstaff. We keep asking the town master to do something about it, but he wants nothing to do with it. He's afraid of them. We all are. They come round here and collect taxes, saying it's important, and that if we don't, they'll kill our families.
Wait, what do they collect? It just cut out.
Taxes. So,
Oh,
like,
taxes.
yeah.
Oh, are we overthrowing? Are we going to fight them? Let's do it.
Could.
They sound like
This is not
bullies.
Hollywood in character. This is me out of character. I love overthrow. I love that. Like,
Oh, I'm into it. Twilla
That's
does not
overthrow.
understand money, so
Holly Lynn's still thinking about it, but Aubrey out of character. Let's fucking overthrow.
oh, I'm here for it.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
Sorry. Yeah. He tells you basically, yeah, the Red Brands are essentially thugs. That's all they are.
Hmm.
I'm sure that we could probably take care of them within an afternoon and then just go get lunch afterward.
I don't know about the afternoon, but maybe.
Yeah, I think I need a nap or something for a while. It was kind of a long day.
I don't know what your issues are. I'm perfectly fine. Nothing bad happened to me within the last couple of hours. But sure, we can take a rest.
Nothing bad happens, but I, had to use a lot of energy getting all of those things.
You're right.
If we are going
did
to
not
go
get
and,
much.
teach some bullies a lesson, I should, be at my best.
That is fair. I also did not help a lot.
You were wonderful, don't worry.
Yeah, you did great. A lot of good stuff happened, and we were all there. Let's see. So to clarify, are we level 2 now or no?
Yeah,
I
you're
forgot
level
if
2
you're
now.
level-
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude! I got
Level 2.
spells. Fuck yeah, baby. Spells.
Nice.
Let me look at my spells again. Let me look at my spells.
And as you express that you're tired, Twilla, Barthen says, then perhaps stay at the Stonehill Inn, just down the road there, building next door.
Oh.
And
Do they have food there?
aye, food too, yeah. And he also says, but before you go, maybe stop at the shrine over the road. Sister Garael works there. She might be able to tell you more about the Red Brands.
Oh.
What was her name?
Sister Garael.
Correct. Shrine. What is the shrine for?
The shrine belongs to Timora, the goddess of luck.
Oh, we love being lucky.
Sam plays a cleric and a paladin, Timora. So I love her. Tula has no idea who that is, but Sam is very excited.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
So-
well, I guess we should go do that. And, then dinner and naps, yeah?
Yeah. Let's go talk to the lady, and then we can go to the inn. And then you see as we are getting ready, Holly pulls out a little book, and she's like writes down the name of the inn, and she's like, okay, all right. Start taking space in her notebook to review the quality of food at the inn, because that's basically what she does.
Holly Lynn's Yelp reviews.
I'm going to make Yelp reviews for this whole campaign. Anytime we eat anywhere and she's not the one who's cooking, she's gonna write a review.
Okay.
Holly needs her own Twitter, so we can all read the reviews.
Tweets the reviews.
Please do.
I'll make a Twitter account where it's just every day, or every week at the beginning of the episode, it'll be a new review of a new random place she's, or somewhere she ate last session. It's beginning next week before the session. Stonehill Inn food review, 3.2 stars. Not enough salt.
Okay. As you guys go down this road and you see the Stonehill Inn coming up on the left-hand side, you also see on the right-hand side, across the road, is the shrine, the stone shrine to Timora that Barthen was talking about. And you see that there is a figure kneeling amongst the stones who appears to be hanging up small little papers with different languages written on them, but the ones that you do understand out of your list of languages, you understand that they're asking for luck in health and love in family, things like that. And this woman appears to be putting these little pieces of bright colourful paper on the stones, and it's made a very pretty sort of effect across this shrine.
Hello? Do not mean to bother you. But excuse me, miss.
Okay. And when you say this, the woman, she's been wearing a sort of big, caped hood. She turns around and pulls her hood down, and you meet with a high elf who has long pointed ears and is wearing a pair of bifocal glasses attached by a little chain around her neck. And her dark skin has small patches of white, sort of light pigmentation, just in patches around her eyes especially. And her hair is her black hair is thick and braided, and is decorated with small beads and charms, and you see a lot of them are luck charms and symbols to Timora. And though she wears very simple sort of robes, they are blue and they are very colourful, and they're still quite beautiful despite a simple cut. And she turns around to you, and you see she's even got ink sort of spilt on the skirt from where she's been helping with writing some of these papers. And she says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Voitra is immediately taken aback because she thinks she's cute. And Chiari is just like, oh no. Oh no.
Wait, so what you're saying is she's tall and hot, is what you're saying.
She's tall and hot, and I'm tall.
Okay, wait.
Voitra freezes up and Hollywood is ready to go.
Hollywood's gonna kind of enter her little body in between. She's gonna hi, nice to meet you. My name's Holly Lynn. We're here to ask about the Red brand. We think you might be able to offer some assistance in that, regard. if you have any information you'd like to share.
And she takes your hand with a very delicate hand of her own and shakes
Oh.
it. Um,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and she says she laughs. She's got a sort of tinkling laugh, and she says, "Delightful. Nice to meet you, Holly Lynn. I am Sister Grail." And she also takes note of you mentioning the red brands, and says, "Perhaps this conversation might do well elsewhere, away from prying eyes and ears."
Sure.
And
Yes.
she indicates for you to follow her. And she actually takes you to the Stonehill Inn. And inside is a sort of big, almost sort of a feast hall sized room with a fire pit in the middle that is nice and warm. It's very cozy in here and well lit. But she takes you to just a corner aside, which is quite far away from any of the patrons in here and the bar, and sits down and invites you to sit with her.
I sit.
Okay. And she
That's
holds
exactly how I
herself,
would say.
she holds herself very prim and proper. You can tell she's probably had a very scholarly upbringing. And she says, "So you wish to speak about the red brands? What would you like to know?"
Where did
Very
they
good
come
question.
She smiles and says, "That's a very good question. They came to Phandelver 2 months ago, in which there was increased activity from the goblins amongst by the cave, just to the 1 second, let me check. Just to the west of here. I believe those are the goblins which also took Gundren Rockseeker 10 days ago." And the red brands appeared after a man moved to town, a wizard who calls himself Glassstaff.
Yes.
Since then, he has been bullying the citizens of Phandelver for money, and uses the red brands to do it. I believe he is working for somebody else, however.
Where do they live? Where are they? Where could we find them?
She eyes you all up and down and says, "You appear to be adventurers. Yes? And
Yes.
would you be willing?
Very strong.
Would you be willing to do something for me in return for that information?"
For you, anything.
I trust this woman completely. She's hot.
No, that's what Holly Lynn says in character, verbatim, word for word. She just kind of leans in. For you, anything. What do you need? Let me know.
Sister Guerrero blushes slightly, clears her throat, and says, "I am having some trouble with a woman around these parts in Conyberry, which is to the northeast of here along the tribal trail. Now, she won't speak to me anymore, but I am sure if you give her this comb, and from her sort of long sleeve, she has a hidden pocket in there, which she unbuttons and slides out a silver engraved comb. It's beautiful and clearly very expensive. And she says, I have a feeling if you were to present her with this and ask her the question I wished to ask her, she would answer."
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we're going on a road trip. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
"I would like you to ask her what became of a spell book that belonged to a wizard named Bowgentle.
Okay. Can I get a description of the woman? Because otherwise we might just end up asking every woman and showing her a cult. I would like to cut down on that time.
Well,
yeah,
she will be very easy to find because this woman is called Agatha, and she is the only living person in Coneybury. Coneybury is a ruined village to the northeast. She lives
when
in
you
the
say
woods.
only living person, you mean like the town's uninhabited except for her, or like there's the town's inhabited, but she's the only alive one. I think that's an important thing.
She is the only person there, the only living thing.
Okay.
The only person who inhabits this place.
Whew, that was gonna have to struck a minute.
Her home.
Okay,
her home is on the road north through Coneybury, just into the trees. You'll know it when you see it.
Okay. Can I ask why she would not like to respond to your question, and maybe who is Bowgentle? Or is that prying too much?
Agatha and I had a disagreement, which is why she has sworn she will never speak to me again. And Agatha is very adamant, and she holds a grudge very easily, so be careful with your words around her. As for who Bowgentle is, that is for me to know.
Okay.
And upon seeing that you are happy to go and see Agatha, she smiles and says, return to me with the answer to that question, and I will give you all the information you desire.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a nap first.
Yeah, she politely excuses herself from the table and says, I must return to my shrine.
Before she goes, Ellen's gonna be like, leaning against her, like, don't worry, sweet thing. We'll get a guy for you. And she'll do a little, and then she's gonna wink a little bit. Wants to attempt to like impress her.
Sister Gorille. I didn't mention it before, but when she blushes, it's the tips of her ears that darken. And she coughs again, and sort of just quickly the scarf is out. In a flurry of blue
very
robes.
jealous.
Bye.
Okay. And you guys are now left in the Stonehill Inn.
Got that 14 charisma, baby. There we go. 14. Simple. Getting the ladies. Nothing else. Okay. Okay. So we're just in here now.
Yep.
Holly Lynn would like to approach the kitchen. Or find out where the food is.
Yeah. You basically order food from the bar, and then behind the bar, sort of cut off in a separate room, is the kitchen area. Where you can see in the kitchen, you can see just through the doorway a sort of a short woman who is rounded and curvy, a dwarven woman with bright red hair that is braided down both sides and braids into her beard, so it frames her face into
she's
like
hot too.
New episode title: Holly Lynn gets a girlfriend.
Holly Lynn. New episode title: Holly Lynn's gay.
Holly Lynn's gay.
Okay.
Twilla's just standing there not getting any.
Twilla's just there. Twilla's there having a great time. Twilla's like, wow, you are here.
And yeah, and her beard is plaited into
Everyone's so
this
nice.
big braid. So it frames her face. And she's got sort of speckles of like freckles across her nose and cheeks. And she's got on, sort of a stained apron that's covered with like cake mix and flour as she's cooking. And behind the bar is a man who appears dwarven but is also slightly too tall to be a dwarf. You think that he must be half human or have human heritage in him. And he is cleaning up behind the bar and pouring some drinks down the end for a few children, but it's nothing more than just water and sort of fruit juice. He's not pouring them anything alcoholic, I promise.
I was gonna say that was gonna go in my review. Little notes. Give alcohol.
Does not ID.
It's not card. Clywood's gonna go kind of like toddle up to the bar, try and climb. She's gonna climb on the stool because that shit's not. She can't stand on it. She's gonna climb onto it, and she's like, excuse me, hi, hello, hi.
The way that
hello?
Hollylyn greets everyone. Hello.
Just hi. It's like a very warm, tender hi. She's gonna try and get the bartender's attention.
And this man puts the jug that he was pouring juice into these kids' cups down on the bar top, and as he literally just turns his back, you see the kids basically snatch this jug and just run off with it, sort of laughing as they do so. He clearly notices them doing it, but just sort of gives up, like, ugh, kids, and makes his way over, wiping his hands on a rag as he does so. And he says, "New faces, I see. How can I help you? My name's Toblin Stonehill."
All right, lovely. So I was curious. Might I be able to take a look around your kitchen? I have very specific dietary needs, and I need to ensure that the kitchen is able to meet those needs to my standards in order for me to be able to like safely eat here. It's very important. She's got to persuade the Toblin to let her walk around and maybe hit on the cook. Maybe.
He says,
most look around.
He gives you a funny look, but when you go, oh, I have dietary requirements, he sort of concedes to that, and he goes, okay, like, my wife, Dista, is cooking at the moment. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to let you in. Yep. You're free to go into the back with his wife, Dista.
Oh, that's his wife.
Oh.
Yeah. She's gonna like get down and then like kind of like look and then just like and then go in there. Oh, we're gonna hit on the cook. He's still gonna hit the cook. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Twilla and Voitra, Hollylyn's toddled up into the kitchen. What are you guys doing?
I think I'm gonna try to pay for our rooms for the night. I guess whoever I would go to talk to about that.
Yeah, you can.
I would like to do.
Toblin pulls out, like a lodging book, and asks for your names and writes them down, and says, that's 5 silver pieces per person per night.
Okay, a night. How long are we staying here? I tend to 12. Like, how long?
I do not know. How long do you think it will take to do the things we need to?
I do not know.
Can we start with like one and from there?
Yeah, could we pay on a daily basis until we figure out how long we are here?
Of course, plenty of adventurers do that. And he marks it down in the book and puts like a little mark next to it, which must indicate, that you guys are paying per night, like on a nightly basis, as and when you need it. Okay.
5 silver a night it was, right?
Yeah. Okay. And second, and Hollylyn, you are now in the kitchen with this bearded dwarf woman who, as you walk in, you now realize, oh yes, she is indeed wearing a wedding ring.
Oh no. Now, okay, so Harlan's like, hi there, hi. So this is okay. And her whole like plan was just thrown off. She was totally gonna come in, and with her 14 charisma, she was gonna charm the pants off this lady. She's gonna flirt her ass off to like, but she doesn't have a plan now because that didn't work. So she's like,
That's a freaking mood.
hi, I'm in your kitchen.
I'm in your kitchen now.
That's the name of this episode.
Hi. Not even new episode title. Just
I'm in your kitchen.
Holly Lynn voice. Hi. That's it. Yeah, so she's just in there now. She's gonna, I guess, watch her work.
As you walk in and essentially just say, hi, I'm in your kitchen now, she turns around and looks surprised. You sort of see that there's, flour sort of smudged on one cheek. She's clearly been very busy. And she, why is this woman married?
This is homophobia in action.
And she turns around and she smiles a big smile when she sees somebody else in the kitchen, and she says, well, aren't you just the sweetest little thing? Did Toblin send you? She's only a foot taller than you, mind her.
Oh, okay, so she Holland's insulted. Absolutely insulted. She's so insulted. She's like, excuse you. She said, I am not little. I'll have you know, I was the tallest in my family and the tallest of my order. I refuse to be spoken to this way. I'm not a child. I am a grown adult. Thank you, ma'am. I'm only here to observe the quality of your food. Thank you. And that's that. That's all she was like. She's gonna do this while still being like shorter.
Yeah, and like in that way that like mums do. She's clearly like a mum and sort of seems to treat everyone that way. That she goes, yeah, she goes, well, if you're going to be that grumpy, I can't offer you a piece of cake. And she indicates to this really big like sponge cake next to her.
She's gonna like look at it. That again. Fine, I suppose that's acceptable apology for calling me small. I suppose. And she's just gonna like go over and just like herself a really tiny. Go over and like see if she get like a really tiny piece. Like I got like this big, a very skinny piece, just to taste. Just to taste it.
Okay. Yeah.
This is what the review is going to be about.
Okay.
For those at home, this is what the review is going to be about.
You bite into the fluffiest sponge cake you've ever had with apricot jam between the two slices. And on top is sort of powdered icing sugar. It's both sweet and tart, and it's one of the nicest things you've ever eaten. It's got that sort of familiarity of like grandma or like mum food. That's like kind of what it is.
The eyes that Hollylyn is making at everybody we meet, Twilla is making at this cake.
Yeah, just like between like Dista stood here and then Hollylyn's like that. There's the cake open. And then just Twilla. In the background,
So
you
it's like-
just see Twilla's eyes above the cake.
Just the camera
Twilla's head pokes
focuses.
in, and then Twilla's like, "Hi."
Hey,
Hi.
I smelled cake.
I saw cake.
Hollywood is trying really hard, like not to look serious while she like takes a bite and then takes some notes in her little journal. Takes a bite, but her eyes are telling a story, and the story is that she's crying. Tears are coming out of her eyes. She's crying, but it's like
That
yeah, her
story
face
is that
is
she's
serious.
crying.
Her face is serious, so her tears are coming out of her eyes. She's like, "Take these notes."
And Dista, out of her pocket, pulls a hanky and just places it next to you on the table. Doesn't outright give it you, but just sort of casually puts it down on the table.
And she's like, it's like that gif where the girl's like, "Thank you." She's like, takes it and just shuts her eyes.
And
love
she notices Twilla through the doorway eyeing up this cake, and she cuts off like big, like you go to your grandma's and your grandma's here to feed you slices of cake, big wedges of this cake, and brings three more slices out, one for Safi, who's like in the background today, and one for Twilla and one for you, Voitra. And then she also comes back and gives a smaller slice to Toblin, her husband.
Aww. Oh, Dogazet is very kind and Twilla devours it.
And
Okay.
she also smiles brightly at you all and says, it's on the house for new faces.
Oh, that is most kind.
Thank you.
But
Like,
my
With
name
a
is
mouthful
Twilla.
of cake.
Yeah, there's like icing all over her face. Just like, my name is Twilla. It's nice to meet you.
Voitra, it's a pleasure.
And she smiles. She says, my name is Dista Stonehill. This is my husband, Toblin. And then she sort of looks around and she goes, Toblin, where are the kids? And then you just see Toblin in the background go, as he's like hiding the glasses away. She excuses herself at that point. She's like, I should probably go see what they're up to. And she sort of, goes outside and has a look around while you guys are left with Toblin, and there is also Holly Lynn, who is in the kitchen crying over this piece of cake.
At this point, I think after she leaves, Holly comes back out, her notebook like this, and she's like, I need a nap. It's
Need a
nap time now. Her notebook gripped tightly in her little fist, and like she's like, I need a nap. I need a nap. I need a nap now.
It's like that vine of the little girl. It's like, I lie down here now. I go to sleep. Good night.
I took a nap. I lie down here.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, Toblin gives you this key, to your room. Basically, it's like a sort of dorm room where like there's 4 beds in there, all single beds. And there's plenty of room to sort of walk about. And there are also, a wardrobe for storage, things like that. It is very modest living conditions, but there's even like a sort of fur throw to put on top of the beds, one for each bed, and the pillows are soft, at least, and yeah, the room is pleasantly warm. It's well kept. It's clean. Better than a few places you've stayed at, especially when you were still in Neverwinter. But yeah, you guys can now take a long rest until morning if you want.
Woo! I do want.
Please let me get everything back.
Very bad, yes.
Hooray!
Rolling new symptoms.
Hold on. Let me do my. I need to do that as well. Holy shit! Hold on. I have to do. I have to do a thing.
Aha.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. All right. Let me do my thing. All right. Here you go.
I seriously just rolled the same thing twice, so score.
Okay.
Carrying capacity is halved till the next long rest.
Okay.
Twilla is having back and leg pain, which, that scans.
Oh boy. Good news, folks. Today is gonna be a really fun and sexy day for Hollylyn. She gonna have a real hard time focusing today. Gonna have that
yeah?
sexy overstimulation. So that's how today's going, I guess.
Mhm.
Memory issues, love that. So, all right, here you go.
Okay.
See how it goes, I guess.
The night passes without incident. You've got the sort of background noise of a few drunks at some point stumbling home. Of somebody of a very angry partner yelling at their drunken loved one in the street, telling them to go to bed. And there are a few dogs barking, things like that. In the distance, there's a very faint howling of wolves, sort of just general noises that you'll find in any sort of town along the Tribor Trail. And when you wake up in the morning, it's to a sort of spread in which you can sort of help yourself to whatever you want. It's through there's like oatmeal or porridge if you're British, and there's also like some cooked food as well. Um, and of course there's tea and coffee and water, things like that. And as you sort of sit down and eat, there is there is the pressing issue of going to Coneybury to meet this Agatha woman that Sister Gorille was telling you about yesterday. So, it's up to you when you guys go.
Well, what do you think we should do? First, at least.
I'm sorry, what were the options? This is like out of character me forgetting that already.
That's right. So basically, you've got the issue Sister Grail was talking of, where there is a woman called Agatha in Coneybury who she needs you to ask a question to because Agatha refuses outright to speak to her forever now. And Coneybury is, I believe, to the northeast of Phandelver, and it's about 1 day's travel away.
Okay.
You could do that. You go bother the Agatha lady. See if you can get her to answer whatever the question, whatever it was. Holly then has forgotten the question. So
I have it written down.
I'm glad someone. I out of character I do as well. In character Holly forgot. It's like we could go ask that lady or whatever. I don't really remember what her name is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go. I would like to know the drama between the two. That is more interesting to me. Because what could a person say to someone to make them just be like, I'm not going to talk to you for the rest of my life? It's gotta be something wild, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I just thought that like the nun lady was cute. I think we should just go anyway because she told us.
Yeah, I mean, she said that she could tell us more about the red brands too before if we got the question, yeah? So maybe we should do that before, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have anything else to do, so maybe we should just do that and then figure it out from there. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, if it will take us a day, then we might get going, and maybe tomorrow we can be back for some more cake.
Have we talked to Sildar at all since we got him, or has he just been chilling?
Sildar basically, once he arrived, set up a room for himself at this
Sildar.
stone hill.
Okay.
And with the state that he was in, having been essentially a prisoner for a few days, he's kind of just clocked out.
Doing his
Yeah.
Yeah, he's staying upstairs, rest and relaxation. Yeah, a good long time away from any goblins, I think, for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say, he said goodnight and stuff to you yesterday, and is sort of just chilling in his room now.
It's we completely forgot about him. As soon as there was people and cake, we were like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, cake. Forget Sildar. Cake. Okay.
Okay.
So
Let's
then,
go.
you guys set out on the Tribal Trail again, a familiar path now, except this time you are heading eastward along it to the northeast. And that brings along with it new changes of landscape. Here is far more hilly and more dense with trees than it was previously. And it's for the most part it's slow going, but around midday you come across a sort of small stream that you're able to ford easily. It only comes up to just your ankles. And on the other side there are some rabbits that sort of scatter as you guys step up onto the bank. Make me a flat D20 roll Twiller. Just Twiller.
Oh, that's a 1.
The day passes without incident.
Oh.
And you come to quite a nice hill, actually, as evening is starting to fall. And here is essentially, the perfect place to camp. You've got a good view out from above the tree line. And you can actually see from here, just in the very distance, the sort of ruins, which you assume must be Coneybury because it's in the right direction and the sort of right distance away for now. And yeah, you're all setting up camp, so organize watches. So
Who needs the least sleep?
Yeah.
Do we all need normal amounts of sleep? I think we all need.
I think so, yeah.
None
So
of you
I
are
don't think for
elves.
tonight it matters.
Can any of us see in the dark?
I cannot.
I think I'm the only one who can.
Okay, so you should take the middle shift then, because it'll be the darkest.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes
Holly
sense.
Holly was gonna say I don't want, as long as I'm not the first shift, I don't really care where I go. I just
I will take first watch. I don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
And Boitra and Safi can take last watch, and Safi can use her cat to sort of, wander around the area and keep an extra pair of eyes out, because I believe the cat also has dark vision. Okay.
Good to know.
So
Actually, I think cats in D&D do not have dark
They
vision,
don't.
and it's a whole thing because
I
they
know
should.
I was gonna say me and
Tabaxi
Tabitha were gonna bond over
It's
that.
like a big, something, or yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm the DM. I say cats now have dark vision because
Yeah,
it's
my
stupid
cats
that
do
they
too.
don't.
Concur.
So, first watch, which I believe was Twiller, make me a flat D20 roll.
Flat D20. Oh, holy crap! That's another 1. I'm switching dice though, just because for fucking later. I'm not. I don't trust that guy.
At one point, there is a deer that sort of wanders a bit too close to camp, and you sort of jump, and also it jumps as well and sort of runs back into the trees at the base of the hill.
Oh, scheiße.
Yeah, you both scare each other, essentially. And middle watch, which I believe is Hollylyn. So Twilla, you return to bed, and by the time that Twilla's asleep, I will ask you, Holly, to make me another flat D20 roll.
Oh boy. Will the power of love from these dice that my girlfriend got for me save me this time? Let's find out.
I believe in
No.
you.
I got a 19. I don't know what that means.
Okay. Now, can you make me a perception check?
Oh no.
Okay. I will say, because it's a bad how the kids say brain day. I'm have to roll this with disadvantage. So
Okay.
it's not gonna go well. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. What's my 3?
Okay.
It's a 3.
Totally fine.
You
Can't
don't
believe we're getting
notice.
jumped in the wood.
You don't notice them until they're upon you, Hollylyn. They
Oh, boy.
come crawling up the side of the slope of the hill on all fours, and they look kind of human-like, but if a human body was stretched too long so that it could walk perfectly on like toes and fingers. And they sort of lope along the ground, almost dog-like in their movements. And they breathe raspily. There's bile sort of dripping from their mouths. And if you didn't know any
Can't
better,
believe this is where I die.
you would think if they were standing upright, they would be ghouls, but these are like a whole new level. You've never seen these before.
Okay.
Um,
That's how I
and
die. Okay.
and the rest of the party are still asleep at this point, and they are extremely close to camp now that you've noticed them, Hollylyn, and they seem to be sort of spreading around, trying to circle the camp.
This sound that I make, this is how I was like, wake up! Hello! Hello! And then, hello!
You
I'm
all
freaking out now. She's just kind of waking up, like, hello! I need help.
you all
Help.
hear shouting.
Hello.
Distinctly Hollylyn's shouting of hello.
Hello!
Yeah,
Hello?
hello.
And
is it?
as you blearily
Bad
sort
time.
of wake up,
That
you
time.
see these creatures on all fours, which are human but not quite, dragging themselves along the ground towards you all. Roll initiative.
We will. We will.
Oh, ouch. Man, I'm rolling like crap tonight. I didn't warm up any of my dice. That's what happened.
Okay. Okay, we're even. Okay. Let's see. What's initiative? Not good, is it? All right. 11. I got 11
Okay.
on my dexterity. Is what I got was 11.
3.
Oh no. Oh no. We're gonna die out here.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're gonna die out here. Oh my god. We're gonna die out here.
Not like this.
We're gonna die out here.
All together, there are 5 of them. Okay, so
Totally fine.
Voitra, you are first.
Cool. I'm gonna panic and I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast at whatever I can see and whatever I can hit.
Yeah, there is one that's basically like 10 feet away from you, so you can easily hit that.
6.
That misses.
I'm back on my bullshit, guys.
Okay. Anything else you want to do, Voitra?
I don't think I can do anything else. So that is it.
Okay, it's now these creatures' turns. So there's one next to you, Voitra, which
Dang it.
rolled a 6, so that misses. The one next to you, Holly Lynn, rolled a 18.
Question.
Mhm.
Was there enough time for me to pull out my shield?
I will assume because you were an initiative, you just pulled both your weapon and your shield out. That's what I always assume in initiative.
Okay. So then, yeah. That's...
See. So, does that hit? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I have armor class.
Okay. That is 12 piercing damage as this creature bites you.
Ooh. Woof.
Yeah. One is going to slash its claws at you, Twilla.
Okay.
That is a 7, which misses.
Yeah.
God, I wish that were me.
Because I'm not raging yet.
The other two, which are furthest away, are going to use all their movement to sort of come around and fully encircle you all now. So you are in the middle, and basically in a 10-foot radius all around you are these monsters. Holly, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna try and stab it.
Okay.
Lord. Yeah. Okay. Here you go. Oh, that's good. I got a 20.
Yeah, that hits.
I'm also gonna use my newly learned Divine Smite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So it's in. Okay. So I have to roll my d. Also because my fighting style is dueling. I also get a +2 to my damage roll because I'm using one melee weapon. Come on, paladin skills. Okay. Okay, so it's a 2, 3, 4, and okay, so altogether that is 4 regular sword damage and 7 radiant. Oh wait, is it an undead? Is it an undead that's attacking us? Do I know if it's undead or not?
Yeah, it's undead.
Make that 8 radiant damage.
Oh yeah.
Undead.
Nice.
You strike it. Your divine smite shoots down your weapon, and basically what happens is you land your hit. What is like lightning, essentially in a sort of fractured sort of pattern, is like golden light that breaks down this monster's face and down its neck and body, and it sort of just falls to ash. It just falls apart.
Woo!
Okay.
And she just kind of spits out a little bit of blood because she's not.
And Twilla, it's your turn. You have this one monster who's sort of raking its claws at you.
Yeah, I'm going to rage. And I will. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna make a reckless attack.
Okay.
Ooh, natural 20!
Nice.
And that was a 12 on the damage die.
Damn.
So that's 24 plus 6. Wait, no, plus 3. Never mind. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Doing double the modifier.
You you land your axe in it and just essentially cleave it in two and then just like whack it into the ground. It's dead in like one hit.
Yeah, and then I'll just move to get to like whatever one is if it's in 30 feet.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all within 10 feet. They've made like a 10-foot radius around you guys who are in the middle.
Because that was a reckless attack, attacks against me have advantage till my next turn.
Okay. Voitra,
Oh no.
it's now your turn. You've seen Holylin and Twilla destroy 2 of these monsters in essentially 1 hit.
I want to do that so bad. I'm gonna.
I want my cool
Yeah.
moment.
I would like to do a damage. I'm gonna try the Eldritch Blast again, and then maybe I'll do a damage.
Keep you. We're rooting for you.
Does 10? Do I do it with a 10?
It misses.
No.
So
No. See,
I think it's just
I
like
really wish I was a bard right now because I could pull up my little instrument and sing a little tune or something.
I think Voitra is just like too panicked when like she gets overwhelmed in combat, and she's just like and she just misses.
I just imagine her like she'd go to like shoot it through her fingertips or whatever, and then like she's like and then like, goes somewhere,
She's not quite used to doing magic.
It gets a bit too close and freaks you out. Okay. It's now the monster's turn. The one next to you, Voitra, is gonna try and attack you with its claws. That is a 16.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I'm so sorry. Fighter. It's too late for me.
No, you're good. I have a thing, but I forget to use it. It's fine.
That is 7 slashing damage, and can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh no.
Constitution? Natural 20.
You can't gasp like that. I thought you were gonna.
I know.
My brain was like trying to process. Like, do I do math on that one? No, it's natural 20.
Okay, you feel something try to like seep into the veins from the cut that you get, but your body just manages to like repel it. But it definitely feels horrible. Holylin, in this time, one of these monsters has loped towards you and is gonna swing its claws at you.
My sword.
That is a 7, which misses.
She just no, get away from me. Stay back. No.
And the one closest to you, Twilla, is going to also lunge at you with its claws. And it's got advantage, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. But I'm raging at least, so damage should be halved.
Yeah.
Depending on the type, at least.
That is 9 slashing damage.
Yeah,
and
half.
Can you make me a Constitution saving throw as well, please?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Con save.
I could have, but it was too late.
13.
Be good with stab.
Yeah, you also get this horrible sort of burning sensation come from the wound, but it doesn't seem to take hold. And it's now Holylin's turn.
All right, stabbing 2, electric boogaloo. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. This is not good. I'm so sorry. I apologize to everyone. I've let you all down. I only got a 12. I let you all down.
We still love you.
You just hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
The AC is so low.
The AC's so low and Voitra still can't hit.
Okay. So that's gonna be 4 piercing damage.
Okay.
I don't know if that does anything. I have to do a thing on my.
Yep. 4 piercing damage.
Hold on, I have to check something. I need to. Shield of Faith is a cat. It takes an action to cast Shield of Faith, right?
Shield of Faith, I believe, is a bonus action.
Bonus action. Shield of Faith.
Actually, I think it might be a reaction.
Shield of Faith is 1 bonus action, according to Roll20.
Bonus action. As my bonus action, I would like to cast Shield of Faith on Voitra.
Okay. Shield of Faith
as
on
my
Voitra.
bonus action.
What does that do?
+2 to AC, I believe.
Yes. As I'm out of spells for the day, but as my bonus action, I'd like to cast Shield of Faith on Voitra. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, write it down.
Yeah, I've watched enough D&D streams with paladins in for them to be like bonus action shield of faith.
Thank you. I specifically got this because I know that not everyone in my party is armor class as high as mine. So I'm like, wait a minute. Hold the press. I can't do bardic inspiration, but I can cast shield of faith. Thank you.
Twilla, it's your turn. You see this?
Yeah, I'm
you
gonna
see
smash.
You see this sort of big spectral shield appear in the air, and it sort of moves quickly into Voitra, who then gets like a shimmering form around her.
Oh, that is nice. And then I smash the thing in front of me.
Really pretty.
18.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
8 slashing.
Yeah. You deal some serious damage to it. Like to the point where it's clearly got broken bones and yeah, it's limping now. And it's now Voitra's turn. You have this lovely glowing aura around you now.
Beautiful. I just looked through my features and traits, and I'm going to do my bonus action first to activate my shielding aura, which is, it reads, as a bonus action, you create a whirling aura of bright energy that swirls around you until the end of your next turn. You gain resistance to all damage, and if a hostile creature ends its turn within 10 feet of you, it takes radiant damage equal to your warlock level plus your charisma modifier. So that's like plus 5 damage. And then once I use it, I can't use it again. And then I would like to try one last time to do, I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to use Witch Bolt. I'll use my first level spell.
Can do it!
Yeah.
How does an 11 hit?
It just hits.
Okay, so I did a damage. Get ready to eat a D12 of, what is this? Lightning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Pew pew. Come on.
3 damage.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
I did it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's now the monster's
I don't
turn.
even kill it.
You
The
did
one
a damage.
in of
We
you,
are proud of
Voitra,
you.
is going to swing at you. And it rolled a 7, so it misses. And because it then ended its turn, it didn't move. It ends its turn within 10 feet of you, Voitra. That's an additional 5 radiant damage.
Did that damage,
Yes.
baby. Yes.
And yeah, so when it ends its turn next to you, these wispy tendrils that are now spinning around you, along with that aura from Holly, they sort of just lash out and strike this creature. And even when it hits, because it's radiant damage, there's sparks that fly off this monster. And the one attacking you, Hollylin, is going to lunge at you again. That's a 14, which I believe misses.
No, it
Nice.
does not. Again.
And the next one is going to attack Twilla, which has advantage on its attack.
No, because I didn't reckless time.
Well, it rolled an 8 then. Yep.
Aha.
So it misses as well. Hollylin, it's your turn.
All right, here we go, baby. The stab. The only thing. The one trick I have in my book. I missed. I missed it. I missed it.
Okay.
I missed. My one
It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to miss.
It's okay, yeah.
Twilla, it's your turn.
Okay, the one in front of me is still up then, yeah?
Yeah, just about. It's hanging on.
Well, I'm gonna hit it again. 16 to hit?
That definitely hits.
And I'm guessing that'll finish it, because it's like 15 damage or something.
Yeah, definitely. You whack it and your axe goes through to the ground.
And then I'll
solid hit.
To the next closest one.
That would be the one that is attacking Holly. Holly, you swing and like miss this monster, and as this monster ducks down under your blade, you just see Twilla turn around with her axe and look really mad.
I also would like to note, Harlan is hanging on at a whopping 2. Count them.
Oof. Okay.
I like to think that she's getting a little dizzy from the blood, like the blood loss of her wound, and she's like, "Oh hey, how's it going?"
Alright. Well, Twilla's intent is definitely to try to pose a bigger threat than Hollylyn.
Spit some blood.
Voitra, it is your turn.
Okay. Is there only one of these things left? How many are left?
Yeah, there's one that's left in front of you that's currently attacking you.
Alright.
And it is pretty damaged.
Eldritch Blast! It would be so cool if I did another damage. No! No, I didn't. I got a whole 7.
Please get new dice.
Do I need to like crowdfund send you some? I just got paid. I can mail you some. What do we need to
Send
do?
you new dice.
I don't know.
We need to get you special Eldritch Blast dice. Because I don't think it needs to work.
For real.
Eldritch Blast, it doesn't work.
The one attacking you, Voitra, is going to lunge at you again with its claws.
Yeah.
That is a 19.
That'll do it.
Oh.
That is 5 slashing damage. And can you make me a Constitution save?
A Constitution saving throw. That is a tasty 6.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh
you
no!
feel this time
Oh,
the
no.
burning from the wound, and it begins to seize your muscles and lock your joints. You are now paralyzed for a minute.
Yeah.
So whilst paralyzed, you are incapacitated, you can't move or speak, you automatically fail any strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls versus you have advantage, and any attacks that hit you are a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of you.
God, I made mistakes in my fighting style choices.
And the other one is going to try and attack. Well, Twilla, you've just turned on it with an axe. It considers you the bigger threat at this point.
God!
And it rolled an 11, so
Misses.
it misses. And with that, it's now Hollylyn's turn.
Wait, did my aura kill the one that just paralyzed me?
Ooh, yes, it will have. Yes.
Nice.
So you basically seize up, but your aura still moves and lashes out, strikes against this monster, casting sparks everywhere. But you are currently paralyzed and cannot really appreciate it.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Come on. Power of love. Come on, babe. I know you love me. Give me that good shit.
Not one.
Actually, it's a 14.
No, you hit.
Thank
You
It's a
hit.
14. Okay, here we go. 7 damage. 7 stab damage.
It is just hanging on.
And then, I don't know if this counts as a free action. Holly would like to spit like at
Yeah.
the
Yep, that's a free action.
blood that she's from producing from because she's mad at it. She's gonna spit at it, but with her own blood because she's dying.
Twilla, it is your turn.
I will go and swing at the one. I'll make it a reckless attack too, so my attack has advantage. Yeah, that's a 19 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And 10 slashing.
Yeah, you cleave this monster clean in two, bisect it, and You are now all out of initiative, and Voitra at this point, the seizing has become so bad that you've just essentially fallen flat like a plank on the floor, on your back. Could you make me another Constitution save?
Oh no.
10.
And a few more seconds pass where you are paralyzed before your muscles start to relax and your joints unlock.
Oh.
Voitra
I was
vomits.
gonna say. I was gonna be like, hey, previously Googling, can you use lay on hands to cure paralysis? You use lay on hands to cure paralysis because I don't have any.
Yeah, so you would need, like, I think greater or less.
Yeah. Lesser restoration, yeah.
I don't have either of those things.
No, none of us want at this level. Oh, Voitra, are you okay? That's pretty serious.
No, I am. I think that if I were to put my health onto a system of like 15 being okay, like the best, and like 1 or 0 being like, I don't know, dead, I am at like a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty bad.
How lit at this point is just gonna. Some blood's gonna like something like she's in her organ and come out. She's like, and speaking of being at 2, and then she's gonna kind of like pat herself again, give herself 5 hit points with her own lay on hand. She's like, 5 hit points. So she's at 7 instead of 2, but she's still at half health. So you know, if anybody has a potion and would like to share, let me
Well,
know.
I mean, it is still nighttime. We should probably save our potion for now, but
Yeah.
it looks like Safi slept through the whole fight. Maybe
God, I
you
wish that were
can
me.
wake up now and finish the watch so he can sleep the rest of the night.
As you say, oh, Safi's been asleep the whole time. It's like you all turn and look at their bedroll, and like they just sort of turn over and just cuddle up with their cat and continue to sleep like nothing happened. Like their bedroll is covered in like dead monster parts.
Oh, I want to investigate these things. What the heck are they?
Okay.
How would I look at this? I want to know what this is.
You can make either a survival or an arcana check. Perhaps even
I'm
a
good at
history.
both. I'm good at all of those things. I'll do an arcana check because these things look like fucked up magic. Here's my tasty 15 plus 3. Where was that?
You recognize that these are ghouls, or they once were ghouls, and they seem to have been corrupted by some sort of fey-like magic.
Do I have enough brain cells to remember that the first thing we did was corrupted fey magic?
Yes, in your session 0, you guys came across a pocket of Feywild magic before that corrupted rats, I believe, and turned them into cranium rats.
And we're gonna throw them in the ocean. Because they
can't swim.
They can't swim.
You
Can't swim if you've got too many knives.
So I think what this looks like is Voitra is just like kicking these things because she's pretty pissed, and then she's like, "Oh, this is ah." You remember the rats? Remember the rats that held the knives and stabbed the guys and ate the things, and how the things were bad, and how we had to put the thing in the thing, and then the magic was gone and different. These are ghouls, but bad, but messed up. Does that? Should I try again? Did you catch it? Did you catch the information I threw?
They are rats? I don't understand.
Do you remember when we went into the sewer because rats were stabbing people?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And you remember how like we went down there and it was like a bunch of what is the word? Nature and like greenery, despite being in a fucking sewer.
Yeah.
And you remember how there was a pillar and we had to put like a crystal or something into it, and it put all of the magic back to where it belonged in the Feywild.
Yeah.
I believe that
Yeah?
something similar is happening here because these are ghouls, but if you've ever seen a ghoul before, this is not how they look. This is bad. This is fucked up shit. And I would like to put a pin in this and investigate it at a time where I am not on the brink of death.
I agree. I agree. I'd like to go to sleep now.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would
I
second that.
think that's the best idea. And I will very gruffly wake Safi up and be like, your turn!
Get up!
like,
Get up! Your
like
turn now.
blood and gore.
Yeah, Safi sort of gets up, looks around at like all the dead stuff on the floor, and just goes, "Nah." Like you'll explain in the morning when you guys are awake and like you have all gone
Right.
to sleep. And they sit up with their cat Tabitha and just watch the night go by. And that is where we'll end it for this week.
Yay!
This sure wasn't an
Ghouls
event.
and didn't TPK, guys. That's pretty impressive at level 2, y'all.
We almost did, but we did it!
We almost
Yay!
Success.
Oh my god, that reckless attack is
I think I need to rethink my my fighting style choices. I think based on the fact that Eldritch Blast said fuck Voitra rights, I think I need
Said
to change
no
my fighting
rights.
style. Change my fighting style.
Maybe go
I
for
love
something
defense.
defensive. Yeah, you can
Here's
the
impose
cool thing.
disadvantage.
I was
I have-
stuck between protection and dueling because I'm like, okay, the damage on my short sword isn't that much, but I'd rather use the short sword because then I can have my shield.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have like a
Right.
little bonus to my damage. And I'm like, what if they need protection? And that, I don't know why it didn't occur to me to think about it like more critically, but I definitely think I need to be a protection fighter. So after this, I'm gonna change that. I'm a character sheet. But
So here's the cool thing, is that I have like I have my Shining Aura that I forget to use consistently. That would help me, because I get damage resistance, and I also have like protection spells that I just don't use, because I'm like, I'll hit them with Eldritch Blast. And then I don't, and then I get hit with shit, and I forget that I have Hellish Rebuke as a reaction. And it's 2d10 of fire damage.
Yeah.
And I look at my spell sheet and I'm like, shit.
I'm gonna write down in my notebook. Remind Voitra about Hellish Rebuke on their turn.
Yeah.
You just shout in the middle of initiative, Hellish Rebuke across like the field when you're fighting.
Voitra Hellish Rebuke.
But you know, it's all
one might even rebuke such attack hellishly. One might even
In a hellish fashion.
Hellish fashion. Okay. So, you guys do your plugs. Anything important you are doing or would like to promote? We'll start with Sam.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I am Sam. You can find me at Samwise_GameG on Twitch and Twitter. Right now, the biggest thing that I am promoting is Wednesday, July 31st at 5 p.m. over on the Variant Rolls channel. You can see me DM Vox Machina, a charity and critter tribute game. We'll be raising funds for the Able Gamers Foundation, and the amazing Mustang will be playing with us, and I am so excited.
I am playing a disabled character, of course, and I love him, and I can't wait for you all to meet him.
I love it. I'm very excited. So that's the biggest thing I've got going right now. I've got a few upcoming projects that I will be able to talk about soon. So follow me on Twitch and Twitter updates.
Okay. And Bam.
Can you come back to me? I'm doing a thing right now.
Oh,
sorry.
no, yeah, fine. Da.
Okay. I'm Daria. You can follow me on Twitter at ethnic_Dorito. It's DARITO. I tweet things about stuff. I tweet about things that happen. I don't know. I literally just made Voitra a Twitter. Go follow it. It's at Warlock Voitra. or warlock underscore Voitra to listen to all of my tweets about how I can't hit shit. I don't do anything else.
Okay, so, hi y'all, I'm Bam or Aubrey, whichever one more tickles your fancy. Okay, come on, Twitter, you can do this. So you can follow me on Twitter and or tumblr.com.co.us. At Paladin Butch, Paladin like the D&D class, Butch like the type of lesbian that I am. I tweet at my Twitter account and post on my Tumblr account about being gay and also about how to not be a garbage 101. I am also in the process, if Twitter would stop being so fucking slow, about creating an account for Holly Lynn. And I don't know if this is Elliot, since I'm going to talk really slowly so that I can finish doing it before finish doing the thing. All right. That's not gonna happen before this is over. I'm gonna talk about I type too slow. I don't know if it's possible to like editing or whatever to like, I don't know, put the at somewhere, but the at, it's gonna be there somewhere on this anywhere. It's gonna be somewhere. It's gonna be a Twitter account, and I will go.
I'll say
Yes.
when I put this up on Twitch tomorrow, I'll like put it in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. So the account is going to be where I tweet about so Holly Lynn is an her sister likes cooking, and she's very critical about it. She likes to be she's food critical. So she she keeps a little notebook where she reviews every single piece of food that she's ever eaten that she has not prepared herself. I'm going to be posting some of the things that she's already recorded so far, and then moving forward throughout the campaign, once a week. We haven't tweet more than that, but like once a week before the session starts, she's going to tweet food review via a new service that she's unintentionally starting, Fantasy Yelp. So that's gonna be fun. The app will be somewhere. It'll be there in the chat. You can read it. But yeah, love that. Love Fantasy Yelp. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Mustang and or Sarah, don't mind which. You can follow me on Twitter at MustangsArt. And you can also follow the Twitter for this show, which is Heroes Without Limits. The @ is H Without Limits. You can also join our Discord, which I believe is the pinned tweet now on the Twitter. And basically you can connect with other viewers, some of whom are disabled, chronically ill, neurodivergent, others who aren't but are wanting to educate themselves and be more accommodating in their own games. And yeah, it's a nice community. Everyone's really supportive and kind to each other. So thank you everybody who's in that Discord for being such wonderful people. And yeah, on Twitter I mainly just post about D&D and tweet a lot about how much we need better accessibility and better disability representation as a whole, not just in D&D but in TTRPGs. And hopefully we can start bringing about some changes. And as Sam said, I am in the Vox Machina show on the 31st of July, which is at 10 p.m. my time, which is British summertime for any UK people, European people out there. Yeah, I'm playing a disabled character, and I'm really excited for you to meet him. He's a blood hunter, level 4, and a level 1 warlock, patron of the Raven Queen, and I will say nothing more than that. But thank you all so much for listening. I would say watching, but obviously we couldn't get camera capture for this one, so sorry about that. OBS messed up. But we will see you all hopefully next week for episode 4. Hooray! Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao, ciao. Thanks for telling Raven Foodery as always.
I'm buying.
Goodbye.